march expected to get underway soon here in Arizona, but back east, students are already filling the streets. Lauren Blanchard is live in Washington, D.C. with the latest. Lauren, tell us a little bit about the scene and what you're seeing. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Anita. So we are just off of Pennsylvania Avenue. This is where this March for the Lives is going to be happening. Let me show you a little bit about what the crowd looks like right now. The place is filling up extremely fast. About 500,000 people are expected to attend the rally today here, stretching all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue from the Capitol towards the White House, coincidentally stopping in front of the Trump Hotel. There are thousands of people already, from young to old, children to older folks, all with signs. They are out here because they say they are protesting, of course, gun violence, but they're also calling for stricter gun control laws. This whole thing is put together by some of those students who were part of the Parkland shooting. They have, along with a number of celebrities, put together this massive event. It's still kicking off in, we're looking at about 2 hours from now. It'll go for a couple hours here as all of these students, their parents, and their supporters all rally behind this one cause. And the organizers say this is not a political event because they think this is a bipartisan issue.
Hearing reports that there are some counter-protesters out there, groups who maybe oppose what these students are standing up for today. What are you seeing as far as that goes?
Right. So what we were hearing is down by the Trump Hotel, there was going to be a counter protest called March for Our Guns. They were expecting somewhere around 1,000 people a little bit earlier today. That was going to be led by the NRA spokeswoman, Dana Lash. They are trying to come out and say, well, you know, as opposed to this march, taking away guns from people, they say is less safe than being able to arm those in the schools, folks who would be able to protect students. So they said they were trying to keep that counter-protest, that rally, very peaceful. Of course, we'll be watching to make sure and see if we see any sort of clashes. But at this point, it's been a very quiet, peaceful morning as these folks are still filing in here. They've, Anita, been coming in since about 5 a.m., so hours before this was expected to start. It's still about 2 hours away, and it's filling up extremely fast.
Awesome information. Thanks so much, Lauren. Stay safe out there today. Appreciate it. Organizers for the March for Our Lives right here in Phoenix expecting 15 to 20,000 people this morning at the Arizona State Capitol. There will be speakers beginning at 10 a.m., followed by the march at 11. An estimated 300 volunteers will be on hand, helping people register to vote. Student leaders in the Valley have reviewed the school safety plan that was recently rolled out by the governor. It includes more resource officers and mental health spending, but it doesn't address background checks at private shows or a ban on bump stocks.
We're encouraging Governor Ducey, please come out to the march tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's on your, it's right in front of your office. We'd love to have you. If you come, we promise that we'll give you a speaking spot so that you can convey what you're actually trying to do to thousands of people.
Our primary goal is to register voters and recruit youth organizers. We will be having a booth there, getting contact information for young students who want to be more active in this so that we can give them an activist toolkit with materials to allow them to start a club possibly, stage a walkout on 420 with approval of their administration, and register their senior class to vote. Because this is a really big opportunity for us, as there's going to be historic numbers of young people descending on the Capitol building, and we're going to make sure that these young people leave tomorrow paying attention.
That march obviously happening today, that interview taking place tomorrow. Anyone who is going to attend is advised to show up just around 9 a.m. as parking is limited. There will be traffic in the area. And as we mentioned, other marches are planned across the state as well, about 800 marches total worldwide. 7:05, new this Saturday morning, a Phoenix police officer is heard while trying to break up a fight between two men. Take a look. This was the scene near 19th Avenue in Camelback last night. A spokesperson for the department says when the officer tried to break up the fight, two men pushed him from behind, causing him to go through the window of a car. That officer taken to the hospital, his condition unknown. In the meantime, however, other police officers continue to canvass the area, looking for at least one of the suspects. We, of course, We'll keep you updated. New details in what many describe as a disturbing case out of the West Valley. A Goodyear teacher behind bars for carrying on a sexual relationship with one of her 6th grade students. And this morning, we're learning more about the nature of that relationship. That's 27-year-old Brittany Ann Zamora being brought into jail. She's a 6th grade teacher at Las Brias Academy. According to court documents, another student told police he witnessed Zamora have intercourse with a 13-year-old student. The documents also indicate Zamora showed the teen photos of her private area, sent him explicit text messages. The teen's parents told police they discovered the relationship through a cell phone app and also found Instagram messages between their son and Zamora in which they expressed their love for each other. Zamora appeared in front of a judge yesterday.
I'd love to go home to my husband.
Well, the parents told detectives when they learned of the relationship earlier this week, Zamora and her husband called, begging and pleading with them not to go to the police, saying she made a mistake. Zamora is charged with multiple counts of felony sexual conduct, 2 counts of molesting a child, and a count of transmitting obscene material. Well, this Saturday morning, we are working to learn the condition of an armed suspect who was hurt by a Salt River police officer in the East Valley. It happened yesterday near the Loop 101 and Talking Stick Way. Investigators say the man was acting suspiciously. They say the man moved towards an officer in a threatening way, and that is when the officer opened fire, hitting him at least once. Some witnesses in the area were alarmed by the incident.
There's a lot of people from the public out here watching the game, and it's kind of bad for public safety, but I hope the officer is okay.
We live on 86th Street. The traffic was all backed up. And we thought, well, they were working on the roads or something like that. And then we came out to go to McDonald's to get a snack, and this whole thing was a mess. We had to make all kind of turns.
Well, the FBI is now investigating that shooting. In the meantime, police continue to investigate an officer-involved shooting that took place in Phoenix. The shooting happened yesterday near 75th Avenue in Glen Rosa. 2 officers responded to a call about a car burglary. They say the 23-year-old suspect was trying to break into a vehicle. When they tried to get him to drop a knife that he was allegedly holding, police say he did not comply. So an officer tased him 3 times. That did not subdue him. That's when police say they had to open fire. The man's name has yet to be released. A Fox 10 follow-up for you. This morning, a police sergeant who was shot while on the line of duty is back in the hospital this morning. Glendale Sergeant Ken Livingston was shot earlier this month while trying to arrest a suspect near 43rd Avenue in Olive. Livingston was released from the hospital earlier this week, but has since been readmitted for more treatment. A car wash will be held today to raise money for Livingston and his family. It'll be held at the Cabela's near 91st Avenue and Glendale. Marcy Jones will be live beginning at 8 o'clock. Well, happening today, One Valley organization hosting a big food drive to help children in need. The 4th annual Food for Kids Packathon kicks off in just a couple of hours. Marcy Jones is there with a little bit of a preview. Marcy, they're going to try to feed an unbelievable amount of people.
That's right. I'm hearing 100,000 meals is what's going to be prepared today. And take a look behind us. Even though you said it, Anita, this is starting in just a little while. We've woken these young men up a little bit early to get them started here. They're packing, I think, some rice and beans right now. This is really cool. And you mentioned earlier, Anita, that this is the 4th annual. So this is not their first rodeo. They know what they're doing here. I'm with Pastor Rick. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is great. We've got the kids already working, some of the moms out here too, but we're going to have a lot more volunteers as you can see all of these stations. Just give us the, rundown on what today's all about.
We'll have about 720 people coming in over 4 shifts, leading up all pretty much until early afternoon. They'll fill this place with activity. It will. There'll be some singing, some dancing, and food being packed.
We have all the boxes out here. I mean, why is it so important? Of course, churches always do a lot of philanthropic work, but why is it important for you guys to get involved with Food for Kids?
Because they do. They allow the food to go in many different directions. We have a partnership up on the Navajo Nation with a school up there. We'll send some of the food up there. Most of it will stay here to local food banks in the Phoenix area, and then some overseas.
Excellent. Now, have you gotten kind of the whole idea behind, weighing and measuring and all that? Are you pretty good at it, Pastor Rick?
I'm best at sealing. Okay. Yeah, measuring, not so much.
Excellent. Okay. And then when you kind of look around and you see the faces of these youth and all the volunteers here, I mean, how does that make you feel inside knowing that they're doing some good work?
Joyful. Extremely joyful.
Any advice to kids out there that want to get involved with something?
come on down. Help us out later. Our last 2 shifts, we still have some spaces left. Otherwise, this is a grassroots effort. A bunch of people from a bunch of different community organizations, churches, and schools coming together. Just reach out to your neighbors.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much. Great words, Pastor Rick. And guys, as you can see, Anita, it's already underway, and we're so excited for them. They're doing a lot of great work.
It's great to see people coming together for a great cause like that. Thank you, Marcy. And still to come this morning, protests break out in California after an unarmed black man is shot and killed by police in his grandmother's backyard. We have all the very latest coming up a little later on. But first, an early wake-up call for young athletes this morning. We're live from the Pop Warner Football Early Bird registrations. That's after the break.